Kia ora koutou whaharo. Welcome back to Big Hairy News Friday edition with myself, not Pat, and very much Magenta.
Right? God, literally sitting in Pat's seat. Now this is a first, I think, for us, isn't it?
Yes, I don't think anyone would have ever expected this to happen.
Yes,
Oh, it's
now
very
next
cool, though.
time I need to do the Friday show from Chewie's house. And
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Our last Friday show of the year needs to be, and both of us in their houses. And then they can do one in our house, which is a weird thought.
I don't think they want to come to my house.
That's a good point. No one wants to come to my house.
No one wants to go to my house.
So as you can see, I'm in Pat's studio. Pat's doing orders. He's been very good to y'all. He's doing the orders. I've officially taken over the show. I don't think anyone wants that though. Yes, and we're just gonna do a regular Friday as best I can with new technology in HD. How's your week been, Magenta?
Oh, it's not been too bad really. Went out for some board games with friends on Wednesday. That was lovely. And yeah, it just ended up doing a lot of YouTube stuff over this week, so that's why I ended up in a few rabbit holes. So yeah,
cool.
And I'm assuming you look like you might be having a good week.
Yes.
What takes you to Dunedin?
What takes me to Dunedin? I've had a conference the last 2 days actually. I've been learning about the brain, specifically neurodiversity, and all of the cool things that are happening in the academic space. And I was listening to the keynote speaker was two people from I would say coalition, but it's not quite right. It was a group of academics who were looking at the intersectionality of Māori and autism. And it was really sad. There's since 2019 maybe, there's been 4 studies on the intersectionality of the space. And the study that they were doing at the time was trying to extract how many autistic people there are in New Zealand. Yeah. And they had to go through hundreds of data sets from Stats NZ, but no one had actually compiled it before and actually looked at the social demographic and all this sort of stuff. So it was fascinating. Fascinating stuff, but really sad that it's not lots more money just to go in space, a lot more learning to do, but there is lots of cool things happening in neurodiversity in that space, so it was very cool to be part of it.
Absolutely. No,
and it's very relevant to this particular show.
Right? Kiwi verb, autism and Māori must be the Panadol.
Well, there you go. That's how it all happened.
Did they talk about Panadol at your conference?
No, there might have been one joke, but there was certainly a lot of undertones of political dissent of just might not be 20 people any for much longer, and it's funding cuts, restructuring. So there's just kind of this air of frustration and
absolutely, I can only imagine.
Yeah, but generally, big thinking, lots of ideas. We all got to design our own classrooms, which was a vision of a non-existent future. But hey, we can dream.
Yeah. Could be plans for the future.
Could be, you never know. So, before we get into fun stuff and the memes, I'm going to attempt to show you some things. Such as... Wait, it's already on the screen.
There you go.
I made a thing happen. Our website, which has our shop integrated into it. Which is pretty cool. So I don't have to show you the BHN shop, which is also still a thing. But you can see here, you can go straight to bhn.nz/shop and get yourself the merch.
Hell yeah.
Which at the moment we are our latest limited run
Very
item.
limited.
Very limited run, is the You Can't Bum the Truth Away, the t-shirt and the hoodie. Pat has advised that there is still the white hoodie. And is it the right t-shirt, Pat?
I have to order some more stuff.
He's got to order some more stuff in.
Transfers because we've run out. So
It
if
definitely
Yes.
people want to get in early, because I have to order some more, they'll be ordering them on Monday. We've kind of run out, but I'm going to order some more. So I could order 3 more, or I could order 30 more, or I could order 300 more. It's really up to them.
Do we get it, Fana?
I think we got most of it.
You got most of it? So yes, there is a limited number that you can purchase if you do it over the weekend, because we've got to order some more in, specifically of the white text ones. So if you get that in this weekend, then Pat can add them to the order, he says.
All right. So if you want
there
to
you
get it, get in quick.
Yes, that's the general sentiment. Otherwise, it's all the regular stuff. Nikki Moboats, Chewie Fufu, the boys, the buffer hoodies, the 4 of us, which I just saw in person and is very cool.
I can imagine.
I need one of those.
Need.
Plus the BHNs, tax work less, tax wealth more, fuck around, find out, and our regular stickers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then also,
And I
if you want to
guess
support
soon
us,
to be more.
Yes, of course. If you want to support us, you can also go to patreon.com/bighairynews, where you get some exclusives, some behind the scenes type stuff. You also get any interviews generally get posted here before they go live, either on the show or posted onto YouTube. So other cool perks you can get. So big thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon, because you make this show possible. You bring me to the house. Actually, no, I was here on my own volition, but you you enable this cool space which I am now occupying.
Right. Exactly. Also, we've had some commentary. Apparently, Pat should leave us alone because it's his night off. And also, he's only allowed to come on if he dyes his hair and or beard. And you know what? We should give him a glitter beard. That's my yes ending to that.
You can get like spray stuff, right? Yeah. I'm sure we can make that happen. He can't hear
Whether
this.
he'll let us.
He can't hear any of this, guys. So you have to watch to find out what crazy things. People are asking if you'd have a pink beard for us, Pat. No, that's just a no response. Just a shake of the head. Not doing it. Chewie would do it.
He would.
He's saying, "How much, guys? What's the
Okay, maybe, or maybe there could be some patron exclusive content, for a certain tier, maybe."
Someone's saying I need to speak louder, guys. I'm a quiet person, okay? Or is it Magenta
quiet, at least
that?
to me.
Okay, does Magenta need to come up?
Yeah, am I quiet? I mean, I've never been told that I'm quiet, pretty much ever in my fucking life. But
Right. Well, I sort that out. Magenta, would you like to give us the meme review of the week?
Meme review. Oh, apparently I am a bit quieter. You know what? Let's just go old school style.
Oh, we're going like YouTube vibes.
Yeah. It's almost
okay.
like we're on YouTube. Wild. But yeah, let's go for our TLDR weekend memes. Someone's taken this beautiful graph and just added in some lovely, lovely details. I just love that picture of Luxon every time I see it. It's so bad. This beautifully badly positioned photo. Obviously, the UN's been a bit of conversation this week. Not sure if you all heard, but big news. There was a massive grinder outage that just happened to coincide with Charlie Kirk's memorial service in Arizona. So pretty big in the tech world. Obviously, we got RFK's autism announcement, which I'm sure you would have plenty of opinions on as well as me.
No. No.
We got obviously Luxon and his not in a rush. We've got time. Just wait. And this, I don't know if you've heard the conspiracy theories coming out of the right about the whole escalator incident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is
it's just
crazy.
just wild. And oh yeah, we got an update to the story, and I double checked. This is actually a story. So it turns out the husband of the HR exec that was caught on the kiss cam was also at the same concert, but with another woman. So they just did polyamory, but make it bad.
Wait, so he was at the same concert, but with another woman, but that
so
other
they're
woman
both cheating on each other at the same concert, to just TLDR it. Yeah. Again, they should have just done polyamory. Like, bruh, it's right there.
That's confusing.
And someone in the Discord showed this that I thought I would add into this week's news. Apparently, Brian Tamaki is consulting with Turning Point.
Of course he is.
Yeah, I mean those two responses were my responses to just a fucking course. But yeah, so it's been a pretty good week. Oh, but on a positive note, September, which is obviously my birthday song, entered the global Spotify chart at number 69. Very nice.
Yes.
On September 21st. And
that
made me very happy. That was the only positive news we got.
There was something I was watching, and they just kept referencing whatever the lyric is somewhere in the chorus. I can't remember what it is. But they kept... Oh, I was... Okay, this is going to sound really lame. We were watching the LOL esports, whatever it was. I can't remember which competition it was. Or which league, like 10 of them, I don't know. And one of the commentators just kept bringing it up, you know. I can't remember what exactly. I don't know the lyrics of that song very well because I only know the like weird edited versions of it where it's just like
the memeified one.
The memeified one that like he did
yeah.
6 years of it progressively and just like all I know is the 21st night of September and then the next one is the 21st night and so that's all I know is that version of the song. Yeah, so there you go. Look it up. Look it up.
And if you ever want to know what my birthday is, just sing that song and you'll know.
There you go.
It's also
Can't
Stephen
forget it
King's
now, guys.
Birthday. Yeah, it's also Stephen King's birthday. It's a very popular birthday. Obviously, 9 months after New Year's, so you know people get quite merry around that time.
Gross. Don't want to think about that. Thank you.
Hey,
you know what I do want to think about though?
What do we want to think about?
The shitification of our media.
Oh,
yay! Magenta.
Yes.
Can you please inform the people? I heard you were doing some deep diving.
Yeah, well, originally I wasn't planning to do like an actual deep dive. It was more just Detective Rogers put this article in front of my eyes on last Monday when we were doing Aotearoa Tonight. And I thought, oh shit, okay, this is... I would not have seen this if he had not showed this to me. So from the Daily Blog... Media Watch, alt-right Canadian billionaire buys even more of NZME. And this didn't have a whole lot in it, but was basically just talking about the fact that he has lifted his investment in the media business for the second time in recent weeks to just under 18%, which obviously confused me because when we first covered the story, he was only coming in and acquiring 9%. So I was like, oh, how did it get all the way up here? And so obviously that led me to having a bit of a Google and looking around because I was like, okay, this just seems a bit off. So I'm going to take this one off and we're going to add in my my not very pretty, but very information-filled slides. So I went through, and that was obviously on the left-hand side is basically when we first saw this story. So yeah, 9 million for a 9.3% share. He's the founder and advisor of Tom Capital Management in Canada. This company largely takes interest in oil and gas, financial services, manufacturing, and real estate sectors. He was also the company director of The Centrist until August 2023. The Centrist is now owned by Tamim Barakat, and Barakat was featured on right-wing New Zealand social media influencer and conservative activist Chantal Baker's Instagram page in 2023, asking members of the public about the state of New Zealand's media. The Centrist reported it had been supporting Baker with her legal challenges against New Zealand media. So that obviously gives us a bit of an idea of who this person is and how they're affiliated. And this, so we got March 6th and March 7th, and this was an article, New Zealand Herald newsroom concerned by billionaire's plan for NZME board. And basically they went through saying that their top priority is preserving the impartiality of our journalism and the independence of the newsroom. While the intentions of the potential new board member remains unclear, we are concerned about an apparent record of backing news ventures which lack transparency. Davidson also pointed to the timing of the situation, with New Zealand Herald staff still coming to terms with 30 redundancies and a major restructure. That's a lot, isn't it? Isn't it already? Then we have this article here, the Herald gets a new tone and a wealthy alt media investor. Days before major new investor Canadian Jim Grenon arrived on his share register, New Zealand Herald owner NZME sent a message to the business world that its journalism would now push positivism and economic success, which seems very much, yeah, see, your facial, that's exactly what I was thinking. And especially when we know how much this government loves to push the economy. Only 2 months later, also published behind a paywall that I got around, outspoken NZME shareholder sells out of media company. Jim Grenon lifts stake to 13%. So this is where we see him go from the 9.3% that he originally had, and he raised that to about 13% as Troy Bowker sold his shares to Jim Grenon. But then I saw here that I was like, okay. Apparently they looked into it, and they basically ruled that he did not breach the NZME takeover code. Accordingly, after the acquisition, Mr. Grenon, together with his associates, did not hold or control more than 20% of the voting rights in NZME. Hold that number in your mind. Just hold that number. Earlier in the week, it was revealed that former National Cabinet Minister Steve Joyce had been nominated for the board that he wanted completely replaced when he first bought those 9% shares. But then I thought it was really interesting because he's bought 23%. He now has over 20% of shares in NZME. So I don't know if this means they will relaunch an investigation, because it very much seems like we've given him an inch, and little by little, he's very clearly incrementing up and up to take that mile. I also, funnily enough, realized when I was kind of just thinking over this, he also obviously has very clear ties into the Atlas network, which I know I haven't really been talking about as much. But yeah, so Grenon was a paid election promoter linked to the New Zealand News Essentials website, which was a site dedicated to attacking the then Labour Green Party government, and it appeared to host anti-vaccine and Atlas Network affiliated articles, which I don't know about you, but that's already sounding like a lot of big bad. But then I was like, okay, this is giving, it's giving fascism. You know what I mean?
It's giving fascist.
And so I was like, okay, I should do some reading. And then I was going through this talking about how fascist leaders weaponize media and propaganda to seize control.
Would you like me to add this to the screen?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't click it over, did I?
It's okay. Oh, no.
I gotta remove my one first. Yeah, that one.
Up.
Hip, hip.
Up.
I'm not going to touch it. You can do it.
There
we go.
There we go. One of these days.
Yes, so in here it obviously talks about seizing control of the media, highlighting that in Nazi Germany, Joseph Goebbels took control of newspapers, radios, and movies. So it wasn't Hitler that did it. It was one of his people or people that were working in the networks around him. So, just like smells a little bit like fascism. And then obviously talks about, silencing dissent and controlling perceptions, which we have seen a lot of that happening in just the general from the right. There's also the fact that, propaganda uses fear and pride in one's country and a twisted idea of who can be part of society. There is just so many little stinky nuggets that are just hiding in there. And when I'll take that off and pop this in. I also just did a quick Google and I was like, okay, well, NZME, New Zealand Herald. All right. I looked up basically the same thing, Gaza genocide. And then I looked at what the article titles were. And what we see here with the New Zealand Herald, they call it Gaza conflict or humanitarian crisis or war-ravaged Gaza. And then also one about fury over campaign to hunt down Israeli soldiers holidaying in New Zealand. A hotline for reporting Israeli soldiers holidaying in New Zealand has been labelled hateful and anti-Semitic. Versus RNZ, who they say committing genocide. They don't they're not blurry on that. They're talking about it, whereas, the language is so clearly different. And I know I've seen a few, I couldn't find them, but I've seen a few other examples where people have just taken snapshots of the types of the tones and the way that these are being worded. It's, I think so, a lot of time you also see like quotation marks put around genocide as if we have to, it's definitely... It's not looking great. And the fact that he's come in and, because we covered that, I think at the beginning of the year, basically. So little by little over the past few months, he's just now at 23%. That's terrifyingly close to a quarter of the entire is owned by him. And I haven't been able to have a look into whether there are any other, potential shareholders that have ties to his businesses as well. That might be one of my next look-ins. But, it was kind of just a fun little thing to go look at and I was just like, you know what? I think we need to start paying attention to these things a little bit more again, because now it's made, my brain was kind of going down this thing of okay, so now is this just the government that we have at the moment are just being so bad and attacking minorities and all of these things just so that this type of nefarious shit can just be easily done in the background, because we're so it's we always talk about it. It's so hard to cover all of the stories that are coming out, and it's hard to know sometimes which ones are more important, because most of them are important. It's how do we try to prioritize time. And so, it was definitely something that I wanted to kind of put in front of the people, make sure that they keep an eye on and just be aware of it. Be mindful when it comes to the New Zealand Herald and News Talk ZB, because they very clearly have a big stakeholder with Jim Grenon, who has very clearly got so many ties to the alt-right and to obviously the Atlas network. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Nice.
Just got to keep fighting fascism, whānau. Yay.
I was actually having this discussion with someone I feel like I say this every week, but I just feel insane. Like I feel like a conspiracy theorist sometimes because I'm like, look at the parallels between us and America. We're going that way, guys. We're going that way. It won't take long.
Absolutely. But
And
that's
then-
the thing is, like, you shouldn't feel that way because, like, I felt that way back when Trump got his first thing. Like, I was having those conversations with people back when Trump first got in. It does
Yeah.
make you feel crazy when people are like, oh, maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah. Or people go like, oh, well, at least we're not America. And I'm like, oh, just you wait. I can't wait to say, I told you so.
Uh-huh. I mean, New Zealanders do unfortunately like to, I think a lot of people, New Zealanders like to think that we're so far away from everything else when we really aren't. Like, we've been a testing ground for so many international things, from things as simple to testing out FPOS cards to things.
We're having a
things
conversation about someone with that.
Oh,
That's
nice.
great. Yes.
To, you know, testing out fascism on us. So, like, to the not nice. So, yeah. I mean, I think people definitely use it to discredit where they shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, no. But it's pretty hard to get people to recognize, I don't know. I want to say recognize the stakes, but I honestly I feel just crazy. Like I'm seeing something.
Yeah.
I can see it there, and it's clearly there, and the steps are there, and it's all happening, and we're all moving in that direction. But you try and explain it to people, and they're just like, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
But, and it's true. If you step away from this and you go touch some grass, like you do realize that the internet that we live in, and like the world that we consume as political fanatics, and news fanatics, is only online. But also, because when, you know, us who are not directly affected by it every second of every day, we can step out. Like, it's a privilege, right? You step out of it and you're like, okay, I went and touched some grass and actually it's not as bad as we talk about on here, because we try and bring light to these things. But at the same time, it will eventually be as bad. We just, like, there'll be a point where you can't step outside and pull away from it, and that's when we've gone way too far.
Oh, absolutely.
But like in everyday like face-to-face conversations and things, like it's not right there, but there will be a turning point where it's like, cool,
Well,
I'm going to go and sleep in my car. I don't get
That's
paid
already
enough,
happening, though.
I know
I
that's
feel
already
like that is
happening, but
already
I mean,
happening.
but that pool of people that's happening to is going to increase, and
Bigger,
those people who think that it's not going to affect me, it will start to affect you, and then when that happens, it might be too late. So,
Oh, absolutely.
like I always say, when you go to vote for the person that is in the most vulnerable position that you know in your life. And if you do that, I feel like you're always going to vote in their best interest, and in turn, it will be in your best interest. It's a hard thing for people to get their head around sometimes, and it's like, what, my mortgage rates, you know, blah, blah, blah. Power bill, yada, yada. It's like, nah, it will eventually help you. Trust me.
Yeah. Although I do think that's also just because New Zealanders are still terrifyingly apathetic towards politics. Like, I was even just trying to talk to my nana the other day, being like, oh, so did you get your voting papers? She's like, oh, yeah, but what's the point? Doesn't matter who and I was just like, I was like, no. Like, tried to explain it to her a bit, but like, I definitely think that is changing, and I just hope that we see more of it, because that's what we're going to be able to do to counter. Like, I started looking into, I think I was looking at one of Robert Reich's videos about like how to counteract fascism. One of the biggest parts he put in there was community building. All of the things that obviously we're currently doing on the show, and trying to extend out into our everyday, like, real world lives. Like how, actually, as a good reminder too, this weekend in Wellington, we're going to have a BHN meetup so that we can all scream about this in person, or maybe not scream, but like, within reason. So if you want to come hang out with us, we're going to be at the Garden Hotel on Courtney Place from 5 p.m. till probably around 7 p.m.-ish, maybe a little bit later if people want to hang out. But we have to be gone before 10 because there's a party you have to pay for after that. Unless you want to go to that, then you can. But yes, we got to make sure that we keep educating people and encouraging them to vote, even if they don't feel like it's going to push the needle at all.
Yeah. No, it's a tricky one. Tricky one.
Oh,
You gotta...
BHN Walking Club.
Oh.
That's a great idea. See? You know, if you want to get some walking in, since we're going to have a lot better, sunnier evenings coming soon, get your local BHNers to go for a bit of a walk in a corridor, or I don't know, go for a bit of a bitch and stitch. You know, there's heaps of different things you can do.
I love that.
Bitch and stitches are the best.
Bitch and stitch. Isn't that just what old people do? Like old grandmas? Is that literally...
Yeah, but now people actually like host more actual bitch and stitches for like all ages, you know.
Cool. I love that.
Yeah. We're now starting to realize that old people actually do have really fun hobbies like bingo.
Yes. My sister-in-law got really into that, like competitively into that with her local whatever Rotary club, bingo club, whatever it is. Like full competitive. Like,
oh fuck
she had like special stamps, and she got pissed off when people like took her stamps, like her like she, you know what I mean?
Bingo
like
pen,
her bingo pen, and I was like, oh, okay, have
I went
fun.
to a bingo that didn't have bingo pens, and oh my god, I was the snootiest bitch, man. I was like, ooh, pen, a normal pen, what is this? But honestly, the neurodivergents go so hard at bingo. Like, we will actually get real quiet and real like, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I didn't hear it. I missed it.
What was it? Fuck.
Yeah.
But nah, it's great.
It's not for me personally, but you know, hey, each their own.
Hey, going to bingo with some friends, it's for everyone, I reckon.
You never know. We have some super chats to get to as well. Shall I do that?
Yeah.
Seeing as you've just presented.
I'm just gonna drink some more hydration.
Oh,
Speaking
of drinks, I have been instructed that it would be rude of me to not pour myself a drink. So I thought I'd give you some behind the scenes.
Oh, you're gonna do the Pat mini fridge? Fuck yeah, let's go. Pat's mini fridge on a Friday.
It does. Right.
What's in there?
There's V.
Ooh.
There's
what color?
There's hazies. Green and blue.
Ew.
There's Baileys.
Okay. What a weird assortment.
There's Sprite.
V.
There's some Fajoa honey something or other.
That's crazy.
There's some tonics. Wait, is there
tonic?
Gin? Oh yeah, there's a whole liquor cabinet on top though.
Jesus.
That
you could have a party tonight.
I could. Yes. Well,
right.
Anyways, I said I would.
Say,
but,
how much is the hotel minibar going to cost you?
Hopefully nothing. Ooh, nothing.
That's the best price. Apparently, Detective Rogers says you need to make a white Russian.
This show could... Oh, I have to drive later, actually. Never mind. I see we could derail this show very quickly, and it would be quite fun. It'll just become like a mixology episode.
Right.
Where y'all can, like, suggest cocktail recipes. And
oh, God, that could get bad.
They could be terrible. Anyway, super chats. I'll eventually get to the drink making. Maybe while you're doing some memes. Right. Memes. The Son of the Moonlight for $5 says for the Pat Glitter Beard Fund. Good luck. I don't know what his price is, but it's got to be pretty high. Another $2 for the Pink Beard Fund. Mr. Arvids, Danger of Mouse for $2 says late fee. Oh my god, Pink Pat. Yes, I am a Pink Pat. Oh, I should have put Pink Pat instead. Never mind. I could. Peter for $2 says read your Noam Chomsky, everyone.
Noam
Chomsky. Noam Chomsky. I love that. Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is probably, yeah. Anyway, Kiwi Burb says, please get involved in local media coverage, folks. That's us. That's me. Detective Rogers, I can't believe he hates bingo. Excuse me, I didn't say that. I just said that she went a little crazy about bingo, okay? And someone said, can we have a Nala moment? I would do Nala Cam, but I think it's currently being used for my face. And Nala, I believe, is with
Nala Cam.
I am currently on the bitch cam, literally. But she
You said
is
that, not me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think she's up spending some time with her mum.
Aw,
But
cute.
she might come say hello. But yeah. Unless I made her stand on my lap, you probably can't see her. So there you go.
So, Gary, that's enough alcohol to qualify as an MP's office. Ooh.
I
Pat
wouldn't be
Peters?
surprised.
All right.
All right.
Memes or news?
Yes, we are due for some quick memes. I'll see.
Well, actually, first I'm going to show everyone the meme that I made. So I thought, because we've had Tuki Te Reo Māori recently and Bird of the Year, I thought I would just make a very educational meme to remind everyone that this is a kia and this is a kia. And yes, I spent my whole life saying it the other way as well too. But it's one thing that I learned was wrong, and now it bothers me every time I fucking hear it. It's like once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Also, that little image you made of us makes a really good meme watermark. So, very nice.
Like it. Wait, was that it for the memes?
Oh,
there's
no,
more.
that was my meme. Nah, yeah, I just did them in separate ones.
I see.
I made that one after the PDF. My 9-year-old and his classmates have started using "that's AI" to mean "I don't believe you." Me, we're having dinosaur meat for dinner. Kid, that's AI. Which I guess no cap has turned into "that's AI." You get more conservative when you get older. Only really worked for the generations that got richer as they got older. The real truth was always just, you get more selfish the more money you have. My autism will now be unstoppable. Also, I have not seen this movie. I just know that he's the bad guy. Good old Nicky No Boats. And if you look closely, you can see the exact points where it wasn't my fault. Always something, isn't it, Fano? I liked this one. Let's not equate left and right-wing rage. Right-wing rage gave us the KKK. Left-wing rage gave us The Weeknd. And I couldn't put it any better. When a Kirk fan argues that it's out of context and quote the whole thing, Nazi shit. Nazi shit, but with more words. If you think Tylenol is bad for children, wait until you find out about guns. My favorite kind of acetaminophen is Tylenol Rapid Release the Epstein Files.
Might be sooner than you think. Well, who knows? It's been saying it for a while. Probably not.
We also saw someone posted this one, which is actually, funnily enough, not actually related to the Tylenol issue. This was actually a meme from 2023 where Akintoye, who's a rapper who looks a lot like T-Pain, literally calls him that in one of his videos. So just a fun little crossover of memes. The real cause of autism. Autistic people be fucking. That's it. The United States of Tylenol actually caused autism? Like, look, they could have all of those trains, Fano. So many trains. We'll do last one. Y'all ever think maybe we missed the second coming of Jesus Christ because the IDF is spawn camping him? And we'll leave on that note. Your face.
Oh, I'm reading the chat right now. I found a new Crunchy. Hi, Crunchy.
Oh, kia ora.
Kira Bird and his calls thinks is
They're literally called Mr. Nobody.
I mean, yeah. I would disagree, but you're welcome to your opinions.
Emo coded of them.
It's very, very emo coded. We bring peace and love here. This is actually a hippie space. not a
Yeah, we
not a
bring
hateful
you
space.
birds and
We bring you
cars
birds
and deep dives into the Atlas Network. So
yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Hang
So you
out.
can be part of it, or you can crunch on over to someone else's. But you're welcome to
pop in
you're
some
welcome to
soup.
yeah, come say hi. You're welcome. You're welcome here. I just say what you want, but we do have moderators, so there is a.
Oh, yep. Think they've been blocking people on them.
Ah,
handle the
yeah.
Can't handle the heat.
Oh, but I can't put all of your chats on here, so it might be a one-sided grievance.
Well,
Right.
let's ignore them and just go into the rest of the news.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's not really news. This is a fun one. Okay. So I've talked about this before. I don't know if it was live or if it was on the Discord about my my trying to get to sleep deep dives videos that I watch, and how I have a range of videos or people and topics. There's real life law, which is about like geopolitics, which is fascinating. There's other ones that I don't remember. There's Economics Explained, which is an Australian guy. There are other ones. Religion for Breakfast, I think, is one of the ones I watch. Anyway, there's a whole host of
that
them.
sound familiar.
Yes. And one of the ones I watched the other night was as a guy called Unsolicited Advice, and he does like more philosophy-based stuff. And he put out a video a couple months ago. Stop misusing these philosophy quotes. Here's what they actually mean. And he went through a bunch of like common ones that we all say. Sometimes the ends justify the means, that sort of stuff. And then he kind of explained how some of these are actually people have misrepresented them
absolutely.
entirely.
Yeah, like the customer
fascinating.
is always right in matters of taste. Only.
Yes. So he did about he did 5 or 6 of these. And one of the ones I was listening to was one of the sections he does is about Karl Popper. And the reason I know the Karl Popper name is because the lounge in Uni Hall and UC is called the Karl Popper Lounge. I don't know if it was inside
cracker.
our Uni Hall. Yeah, I think it was, yeah. And it's where all the guys like got the little PCs out and had like LAN parties. It was really lame. Very cute, but they were in the Karl Popper Lounge. I'm sure he would have loved it. So I was listening to it, but then I was listening to it and I was like, holy shit, the parallels between what's happening right now is fascinating. And like I'll go through some of the sections of and I'll go through the full quotes in which this came out of. So, which is like the paradox of tolerance, and it goes kind of more into free speech. But before we get into that, I probably should just give you a very, very truncated version of who Karl Popper was, as best as I can. Or you can just go and look at your go look at his biography. It's on the Tiara website as well. But yeah, he was born in Vienna, Austria. He was the son of a lawyer. He did lots of he had an inquisitive and enterprising mind to a variety of activities. He was an apprentice to a cabinet maker, and did a bunch of stuff. It was Popper's practical and political interests that first directed him to the philosophy of science, because he realized that it was vital to be able to tell genuine knowledge from pseudo-knowledge and superstition. On Popper's account, science proceeds by formulating... This gets a bit, up there, but it's right. There's a guy who explains this much better than I. On Popper's account, science proceeds by formulating hypotheses. The criterion of a scientific hypothesis is that it generates predictions that are capable of being falsified by reference to empirical data. These hypotheses can never be conclusively proved true, so that scientific knowledge is necessarily provisional. The idea revolutionized the understanding of the nature and value of knowledge, of scientific knowledge, and then Albert Einstein read logic and manuscript and applauded it vigorously. So yeah, he was kind of in that era of things. He made his way to Christchurch Uni. I think it was called Christchurch College at the time. The intellectual climate of Canterbury College in those days was decidedly sluggish. Which I think is quite a funny quote.
Oh, can't relate as a Vic student.
While he was in Christchurch. He wrote his second major work, The Open Society and Its Enemies, which he considered his contribution to the war effort. It traced the wish to construct tightly close social orders, starting with Plato and working through to Hegel and Marx, whom he held responsible for the triumphs of both fascism and communism. He argued there are no inevitable laws of historical development, and that the attempt by totalitarian states to suppress criticism is inevitably self-defeating. So that kind of gives a very, very, very short snapshot of who the guy was. Very much around the time of World War II, not a great history buff and things like that, but I get the general context of where he's coming from. Very steeped in, started off with more of like a scientific lens to his work, and then moved more into the political and the social and commentary and stuff like that, which is where this particular quote, but probably more so idea, came from, that we're going to have a quick look at, which is the paradox of tolerance. So again, I go and watch this video yourself because I'm going to do a really great job of explaining it to you. I hope. Look, there's a button that I press and it unmutes things. And hopefully this all works. Worked before, right?
I believe in you.
Do you guys believe in me? I'm also going to play these on like 1.25. I'm going to 1.25.
Damn it, I missed it.
Right. Intro.
Karl Popper. Personally, I don't know how Karl Popper would feel about his main legacy in the online eye being the paradox of tolerance. Within philosophy, he's much more appreciated for his contributions to the philosophy of science, where he outlined his famous falsification principle. That, in order for a statement to be scientific, it must make falsifiable predictions, which now seems almost borderline common sense. It really has filtered into the general way that we view science today. However,
if only. Generally speaking, yes, but I feel like this has been somewhat eroded by crazy stuff. So yeah, generally speaking, his quotes get misused, and the particular quote, which is not a quote, so the paradox of tolerance is more of an idea, and he mentions that it was a footnote in his 700-page work, The Open Society and his enemies. So the full quote goes, I'll put it on the screen for you. This is where we start to kind of see the parallels with free speech. And Magenta, I'll get you to weigh in. All right. He does say it himself. I'm going to read it because there's a fuckload of tolerance in this. So you have to kind of just bear with me. Okay. The paradox of tolerance. Unlimited tolerance must lead to the disappearance of tolerance. If we extend unlimited tolerance even to those who are intolerant, if we are not prepared to defend a tolerant society against the onslaught of the intolerant, then the tolerant will be destroyed and tolerance with them. Are we with me?
Yeah, I mean, I am with you, because I also made sure to look at this before we did it, because, I had to read this one a couple of times, but, I mean, to be fair, the main thing for me in that beginning part is that, unlimited tolerance would mean the disappearance of all tolerance, because people wouldn't be fucking intolerant anymore.
Yeah. So I'm going to let the guy do his own explanation into this too, and then we can have a quick...
first, let's go over this idea as it often appears in popular discourse, and then how it actually appears in the work itself. The paradox of tolerance in popular parlance is that if you have a society of total tolerance, then this will eventually lead to tolerance disappearing, since intolerant ideas will eventually take hold. Thus, we should not allow the expression of intolerant ideas within a tolerant society. At first glance, it's easy to see how you might get this impression from the fragment we quoted above. I should also mention that the definition of intolerance that's often used in popular presentations isn't quite the definition that Popper is using. Popper tends to mean intolerance here to mean the kind of people who, if they took over a society, would severely limit free expression and turn it into a dictatorial or tyrannical state. Now, you can think what you want about this argument. You might even think it's a very good one and want to put up an independent defense of it. My point is, it's not what Popper says. It's not even what he says in that footnote, let alone the main body of the text.
Okay, so I know this is high-level stuff. It's interesting, okay, guys? The parallels are interesting. This is a guy from, like, the 19th century, and the 20th century, and he's saying things that resonate quite a lot to what we're dealing with right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to interpret it as best I can. So what he's explained there is from the quote, is that if we have a fully tolerant to everything society, eventually people will take hold of power because of the nature of humans, essentially. So it's eventual that if we can say and do whatever we like, which is, David Seymour's neoliberal dream, basically, that things will just happen and everyone will be happy because everyone gets to do whatever they want and everyone just has to be tolerant of everything, right? If I want to do this to my property, you can't tell me what to do. The state kind of gets broken down. Capitalism thrives. We basically have the system that we're in right now anyways. However, if we limit free speech, it's basically what it is, if we limit free speech to the point where it's quite constricted of what you can say, in order to keep things, keep a reasonable society, then you also, and I think he says this more later, but you push people into this space where they thrive behind the scenes. And then there's a quote, the next wee bit kind of goes more into what happens if you limit that. So, a bit of a weird one. It's a weird quote, but the parallels are there. Magenta, anything to say?
I mean, I've also been very much reading the chat because I love seeing also some of their things. I mean, I do kind of agree with this. It's a roundabout way of saying that we should shut down bigot behavior because it's intolerant, but also, like, there's definitely trying to define that line of, like, how do we allow for people to speak certain things, but sometimes those things that they speak can do damage and harm. And we shouldn't, in theory, be allowing that which harms to kind of be tolerated because it's not good for anyone, really.
Let me go into the next wee bit as well, because Karl Popper himself actually explains himself. Thanks, Karl Popper.
I love when people do that.
Yeah, instead of just, summarizing it into 3 words, let's actually listen to the man himself. Oh, wait, hang on. I was going to read this. No. Why are you not working? I was going to read that. Never mind. Wait, also, why can't... Oh, you guys can't hear that. No, never mind. I was going to read that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop moving. Okay. Okay. I got it. Okay. I was going to read this one to you guys. I do not imply, this is Karl, I do not imply, for instance, that we should always suppress the utterance of intolerant philosophies, as long as we can counter them by rational argument and keep them in check by public opinion. Suppression would certainly be most unwise. So I like this because he's basically saying, in my opinion, I think, he's basically saying that general public opinion and public discourse should shut down those really crazy ideas that are intolerant and irrational. And the rational society, the one around it, in theory, should be able to keep all of that in check. And that can go both ways, right? It can lead people to not want women to have more rights or the vote. It can also go in the way of allowing gay marriage, there's all those sorts of things as well. So that's one of 2. The second part to that is, but we should claim the right to suppress them, if necessary, even by force, for it may easily turn out that they are not prepared to meet us on the level of rational argument. They may forbid their followers to listen to rational argument because it is deceptive, and teach them to answer arguments by the use of their fists and pistols.
Who does that sound
like,
guys?
That sounds like a lot of people, but to bring it back home, the one that I thought of was Brian Tamaki.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't meaning overseas. I was meaning here at home. I mean,
there you go. We're both thinking of the same person.
The way, not even just Brian Tamaki, but even the way that some of our MPs make people, not listen to these types of things and feed into these types of I guess, rage baiting and, you know, misappropriating a negative thing to a set of people. And they're also very violent as well, generally.
Well, I think it's that frustration of, forbid their followers to listen to rational argument. They get to a point, I kind of feel like this myself sometimes, that it's not quite the same. But there's nothing that the other side can say to rationalize there's not the leader, let's say, forbids their followers to think for themselves, to allow them to think critically about what the other side is saying, or what that goes against what they're being taught. And so there's just this built-up frustration of nobody's listening to these arguments that I have. No one's listening to this big leader. He's telling me that there is no other way, but I seem to get all of this backlash and things. So that's kind of the way I see it. So it leads to fists and pistols. And there is a parallel also to the other side of us, male, coloured-haired people shouting at clouds. Telling people that the world is turning to shit and no one's listening to us. I get that as well, but there is, at least we have a level of rationale here. I feel like we're going against reality and they are on a different plane of reality. And that's why I like this sort of going back to Karl Popper's main thing of rooted in science, right? His whole thing was like, the scientific theory, you have a hypothesis, you test it, and you falsify it, or you find that it's like, solid science. So he's kind of coming from that point of view of like, you listen to science. You can't just forego science. But we're seeing that now of people fucking autism caused by Tylenol, all of this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, that is what you're going up against. It's like, no, the evidence doesn't say that. We have rigid scientific processes. That it doesn't say that, but they're just, the people just listen to it. And they believe it.
Which is why education is part of the ways you can fight fascism. It also goes back to, I don't know if you heard the meme from earlier on, but if you could quickly remove it, I can just show you the meme.
I would love to. Hang on. Hey, the mouse works for me.
But yeah, this is the kind of intolerance we're talking about. It's like the right wing has led to things like the KKK. It's not like how a lot of us on the left are being like, hey, let's allow people to just have human rights and be treated with basic fucking decency. There was also an image that Cyber Goblin found for us, in case people would like a more visual way of kind of seeing it, because I know I am definitely one of those people.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so obviously paradox. So should a tolerant society tolerate intolerance? You want more tolerance of respect my ideas. That answer is no. It is a paradox, but unlimited tolerance can lead to the extension of tolerance, which is how we see when extending tolerance to those who are openly intolerant, like all the people that fucking just were like, oh, nah, Hitler's not that bad. Oh, they don't just like, they're relatively okay. They just want to like what's best for the workers. And then you end up with people like fucking Hitler. So any movement that preaches intolerance and persecution must be outside of the law. Paradoxical, as I may see it, defending tolerance requires not to tolerate the intolerant. And that's in terms of like when it's not let's agree to disagree. It's like, no, there are very clearly some clear lines in the sand that even if you have some other good points to you, I'm not going to take it because it comes with genocide and all that stuff. Like, I don't care if they have some good ideas if one of their main things is genocide. Like,
yeah.
It'd be wild to do that.
I'm gonna play this last little bit. Not last bit. There's a few little bits more. But I'll let unsolicited advice, the YouTube channel. I'll let him do his little interpretation of this.
Or pistols. Immediately, the tenor of the point that Popper is trying to make is rather different. It's not that intolerant ideas should never be tolerated, even with Popper's already more stringent definition of intolerance, but that intolerant ideas that are going to be enforced by violence and potentially topple a free society should certainly not be tolerated. It's also not a major part of Popper's philosophy, and he's pretty clear that this is a last resort policy to prevent the erosion of fundamental freedoms, rather than something to use at will or particularly frequently. We can...
Yeah, so that breaks it down a little bit, a little bit more. There's so much in this that is worth watching. I recommend going and watching the full thing. I might be skipping a wee bit, but I like his last little bit at the end here. In terms of when do you crack, like what we were just saying, like when do you crack down on free speech, free ideas, intolerance, tolerant, being intolerant, being not tolerant, whatever. And he talks a little bit about, where is that line? And I guess as a society, we are the ones that, decide where that line is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The paradox is not generally seen as having a neat, uncontroversial solution. For example, thinkers often disagree over when exactly a society should clamp down on intolerant ideas or when an idea qualifies as intolerant. John Rawls thought it was only if there is an immediate threat to society itself, and that not fighting against these ideas using force would lead to the collapse of the free society in the first place, whereas other thinkers have set the bar lower. Famously, Herbert Marcuse thought that tolerance itself was a misguided aim, saying that it allowed for the toleration of policies, conditions, and modes of behavior which should not be tolerated because they are impeding, if not destroying, the chances of creating an existence without fear and misery. Obviously, this is setting the bar far lower. Although these thinkers are not talking about the issue as raised by Popper or in Popperian terms, the point is that thinkers still substantially disagree on the limits of tolerance within a society, and to claim that there's an easy answer to these things is, at the very least, I would argue, a little bit premature.
Yeah. So I think that's the bit that we talked about earlier, is that society, it is a general rule, we should allow a general reasonable free speech within a society, and that because that includes free speech in either direction, right? That's free speech for those who are advocating for the likes of gay marriage and trans rights and trans healthcare rights, the radical things that were once radical ideas, like women should have the right to vote and the right to work.
Or black people shouldn't be slaves.
Or black people shouldn't be slaves. Which, if you crack down on that because society as a whole says, no, that's crazy, that's not the way things work, then you kind of, you don't have those ideas springing. You just have this never-ending society that never changes. This is the way that I interpret it anyway. A society that never changes. But you will always have that fringe part of society that thinks really radical, but ideas that generally hurt people, right? The idea is to limit other people's rights, like to the point of death, or enslavement. Like it's like there is a clear line in society about, general freedoms and everyone having the ability to do things, and then there's like societal freedoms. And that's what he mentioned as well, like a society where there's no, do you crack down on the things that will create misery for the general population? And that's kind of where he started to draw the line of things. Any thoughts?
To be fair, a million and all at once.
It's fascinating stuff, right?
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always kind of been of the thoughts of like, I feel like there's kind of this line that people start to kind of misuse the word at certain points, in my opinion. I feel like when we're talking about, say, allowing people who have built platforms off of targeting minorities that has led to real world harm, we shouldn't be tolerant of that, because that's fucked. Like, we should be able to be like, hey, look, technically, yep, you have the right to have your opinion and your position, but, you know, sometimes your position and opinion can just be wrong. Like, whether people like it or not, sometimes I think opinions can be wrong. Like, if, you know, I kind of align with Kiwi Bib a bit more here, you know, if people start advocating for violence, segregation, or anything that would lead to harmful outcomes, then that is often where I, you know, draw the line. I mean, I think the tolerance thing, actually, that's what my brain was kind of taking over into. It's kind of like that thing where, like, there's the tolerance that people say, like David Seymour and that, want from us, where they want to be able to say things about Mexicans or about Maori or about whatever the fuck. But when it comes to things like gay marriage, it's well, what happens if we let the gays marry? Next, they're going to want to marry the dogs. You know, like, that's the kind of the opposite thing that then people often flip it to, where it's like, no, again, is a very clear fucking line in the sand about when it comes to these things. And also, society is a social construct. We didn't construct this. The fucking patriarchy and the Atlas Network did. But as a society, we can reconstruct it. Often that is done through, you know, one arm that is trying to use the system that we live in and the tools that we have within that system. And the other half is generally revolution, riot, burning down the system. So... And also, I love that someone's pointed out that the irony is that Hitler was put into power because of tolerance by political players who thought they could control him. They quickly found out how wrong they were. And there's also a lot of that aspect too. Some people kind of think, I don't know, I think maybe they underestimate people in terms of, like, some of the more nefarious things that people are going like, oh, you know, well, you just don't agree with them. It's like, no, I just think what you're saying is cooked. And I also think this was a really great point here from the Ghost Two Legs. It would be nice to think you can engage with a bigot and use factual discussion to change their mind, but you can't, because that's what bigotry is. And that is one of the hardest parts, is that their entire foundation upon which they make their logic and go through life is kind of fundamentally flawed and kind of challenged to begin with. Because, you know, without breaking cognitive dissonance, which is really fucking hard, without having basically an ability to have a wraparound service around someone to completely break them out of their, you know, echo chambers and communities that might not be helping. So it's a big task.
Yeah, there's some really yeah, I find it crazy. We're talking about someone who, in fairness, didn't actually live that long ago. It's through the 20th century, which is through the time of Hitler, obviously. So a lot of this stuff kind of comes out of experiencing that that world. And the guy was from Austria, and I think he himself experienced Hitler's Soviet states and
So
Baltic
21st
states.
century then. You said 20th.
No, it's 20th century, isn't he?
No,
The 1900s. This is the 20th century. We're in the 21st century.
Oh, yeah, no, right.
It's the weird numbers.
Don't make me do
I don't-
numbers on a Friday.
I know. Yeah,
Which
so
is
he's
why I
not.
agree with this one.
He's. I'm so sorry, guys. It's really cool.
Hey, everyone's loving it. Don't worry. They're loving it. It's just a bit... We've given them some big things to think about tonight, I
Yes.
think.
I did, but like if you kind of just think about like for me, I had to read it a few times as well, but immediately it came to the parallels of the rights want of absolute free speech. There's crazy stuff that's coming out of the Kirk situation where you've got the right administration, the Trump administration, absolutely cracking down on lefties because they see lefties as this big threat. You've got the likes of Brian Tamaki here, who's who's leading his followers to believe that his voice is the only truth, and like everything else, reasonable thinking, they're out the window. Don't listen to them. Listen to me.
And he's now also lining up with Charlie Kirk and then his crew. to make it
Exactly.
fucking worse.
Yeah, so that's just getting worse and worse. But also it's like, well, when society does start to split as much, maybe more so we're seeing that in America. We see that not yet. America obviously is a great example of this because we really do see that crazy 50-50 split. Or even maybe not like a 50-50 split, but 50-50 in the way that they vote. And not necessarily they agree 100% with the people that they're voting for on everything. But generally speaking, there's this kind of like reality and unreality and wanting to enable a society where you can have free speech, which is their first amendment right, and finding the line between that and where it starts to derail society. And I don't think they ever put in place that because of that First Amendment right, that they kind of they never got to that point of maybe we should crack down on hate speech a little bit. And maybe some of these ideas that are leading to that are bigoted, like let's just say the KKK would be a great organization that perhaps shouldn't exist. Maybe should have had a few more crackdowns on it.
Yeah. I think people should have been a lot less tolerant of that.
Yeah. And because there was a little bit of like the KKK kind of hide in the shadows, it enabled them to, in some ways, actually grow because there was this kind of thing of like we're in the shadows and we're doing something wrong, but no one's doing anything about it. We just have to hide what we're thinking and doing, and then suddenly all of this, it's just fucking everywhere, and it's like, oh, this is normal. Confederation.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's such a hard line to kind of balance and play because you've got to keep an eye on and allow enough to kind of be able to keep an eye on the situation. Like the same way I know I was talking in the comments to someone the other day about, there is an argument to say that some of us should stay on Twitter just to keep an eye on whatever the fuck they're on over there. But it is a really hard line to kind of balance. Also, Peter Syme figured out what my brain didn't. It's because you referred to I don't like this when it makes me I'm like, what do you mean what do you mean 20th century? That was just like not that long. What do you mean? Yeah, that's why I got
the 19s and the 20s and all of that stuff. So yeah. So yeah, I recommend you go and watch that video. It's Unsolicited Advice's video. Stop misusing these philosophy quotes. The other ones that he goes into, and there was another one as well that I think is worth, I can't remember which one it was specifically, but also is very much to the parallels of what we're seeing here. They are, the ends justify the means, which is completely misused. And it's another one that focuses on that, the politics type side of things, and like it very much goes hand in hand with the Karl Popper stuff. So I recommend you look into that one as well. The other one he talks about is what doesn't kill you make you stronger. That was Nietzsche. We had the Plato's Cave, which I don't know as well, so I have to rewatch that one. You had the Tabula Rasa, John Locke.
Oh, nice.
And
love that.
all I know is that I know nothing, which is Socrates, which is quite a fascinating one. And the last one was the religion is the opium of the masses, which is Karl Marx. So yeah, if you wanna break those down and actually learn the real reasons behind them, or at least his interpretation, because it's fucking philosophy. Everything's reinterpretable, and they're not here today to explain themselves. But I'm sure if they were, they would still get misquoted and misrepresented. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. That was a fun little thing.
Well, yeah, apparently next week, 10-hour show.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't want to do a 10-hour show on Carl Jung, but...
You and I could talk about Jung for quite some time, I think.
See, I feel like we'd probably have to go through, a lot of them, just so that we don't... I'd get a bit bored after a while if we just did one of them for 10 hours. I reckon we could do a couple. Might have to be a side show that we do.
Yeah, it might be. It's like,
I feel like that. There's so many
lots
things
of
we can
things
talk about, right?
Jung is interesting for sure. Yeah. Well, that's me.
And also, I had to show you this because it was too funny. Cyber Goblin, is Karl Popper how they say co-popper in Christchurch? That joke was too funny to not fucking put up there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
I do think we have a couple of super chats though.
We do.
If we want to.
Do you want to go through them?
What do you mean to go through them? We'll take turns. You just did the big talk, so you can. Have
I did.
super
That's
drink
right.
now.
Yes, I do.
Look at us taking turns. We're fucking woke
sharing.
lefties. right? Kaimatara for $5. Do you know why the right always leads to dictatorship? Because the right cannot be political. Because their function is to uphold hierarchy. And hierarchy is inherently rigid. They cannot be political because politics happens only when people challenge the system, the hierarchy itself. Shout out Kaimatara for always insightful. Just insightful and educational. Oh yeah, this one was not a super chat, but just content is really popping tonight. Ayo, I see you. Kaimatara again for $5. Want to know the paradox of knacked first, being right but never correct. That's good. That's good. And then Peter Syme for $5. You can usually spot people who can't defend their positions in debates through them being shouty over talkers or using straw man and other fallacies. Basically, Piers Morgan's entire fucking show. Pretty much. Wow, except for when you've got people like Medi who have to learn how to yell back just to have get a word in. I also wanted to acknowledge Kieran McNulty. I love that. Kind of want to see someone make a picture of Kieran McNulty as a bird, though. And I didn't cut my hair. As you guys have probably noticed, it's drying.
Yeah,
You've never seen me fresh out of the shower, guys.
It really has.
Well, yeah,
like, since we started, it's like it's
literally
changed.
it's just like a little bit of a time, yeah. Because I mean, I figured since we've got our, we've got our meetup tomorrow, which I'll plug again. So yeah, obviously I had to freshen up. Since I'll probably be on the Discord tonight as well. God, it's always fun.
Love it.
All right.
I'm reading back on some of the comments, which was
yeah.
That's
I always
awesome.
love rereading the comments.
Too good. I love the M's justify the means. It's so good.
Hey.
Very cute, very cute. I think we're due for more memes.
We are, aren't we?
Are there a few more memes to go?
Oh yeah, we got memes. Don't you worry.
Okay, and then we're going to our very, very last story, which we'll blitz through.
Just two gun rights advocates sitting behind a wall of bulletproof glass while enjoying a memorial for a gun rights advocate who got murdered by a gun. White House announced Panadol Rapid is linked to stronger, faster acting autism. Just saw somebody call the exaggerated, over-the-top groupthink hero worship of Charlie Kirk a circle Kirk, and now I'm not sure if I'll ever recover. And that is so good. Also, shout out for the community meme. This one, I love a community meme. Just letting the students know that we just restocked all the Tylenol and the first aid kits. On an unrelated note, I'm into trains now. Remember when they said they didn't want to mix politics and football? I wonder what the difference is, guys. I can't put my finger on it. Oh yeah, this is someone's gone and memed the conversation between the shooter and the supposed friend. So, hello roommate and lover, it is I, Tyler James Robinson. Hello, Tyler James Robinson. As a reminder, my pronouns are she, they. You're never going to believe what I did. I was the one who blanked Charlie Kirk. What? Yes, I did it. Let me tell you all of the details here in writing so that you know everything. But you need to promise me you will never show this chat to anyone, particularly the FBI, which is much better run now that Kash Patel is in charge. Yes, I promise. Please start at the beginning and spare no detail. Okay, well, I started planning in earnest approximately 1 week ago. I did very detailed reconnaissance of the site, which I learned how to do during an Antifa boot camp. But why did you do it? What would you say your motive was? Well, roommate lover, as you know, I have been radicalized online by leftist propaganda, and I had to use violence to suppress free speech. I don't agree with, as is our way. Which honestly sounds pretty much just like the original. Oh, just a reminder. Land back and chill.
I like it.
Do not comply in advance. Bossy, already a cliche, implies permission to comply you. Fuck you, make me. Leads by example. Directs yelling at opposition instead of allies. Easy to chant at a protest or put on a banner. If this is terrorism, what the fuck is this? And you know what? When you put it like that. Oh yeah, Keir Starmer. If you want to live in the UK, you should speak English. That's common sense. So we're raising English language requirements across every main immigration route. Reply. White people in South Africa still cannot speak Zulu, even after settling there almost 400 years ago. And same here. Oh yeah, Uncle Winston wants to remind you to vote Keep for Māori wards on your local elections, which I'm assuming every single person watching has filled out and is going to take to the shop. Oh, this one's so fucking good. You got Tahi Cup, Rua Cup, Toru Cup, Wha Cup. Get it? Wha Cup. Oh, we'll do a couple of these ones and then we'll...
Too smart.
This is the Treasury Revenue Plan of 2026. Oh, yeah. Don't know if you've seen. GST at 32%. Pension age of 72 among Treasury solutions to financial crunch. Time to dust off the guillotine. Oh, yeah. These are memes that I shared on Facebook 5 years ago. And, like, other than maybe changing the faces a little, no edits.
No,
still holds.
Still relevant. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And in the Discord, people were having a chat about Melania Trump. She's pulling some low-effort cosplays. Which, actually, speaking of cosplays, we realized that Halloween is going to be on a Friday. So, yeah. Shit. That was what I was thinking.
Oh, shit.
That is what I was thinking.
Oh, shit. We got to do a thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do the thing. Something. We're going to have to plan something. That's an exciting day.
Right.
Very exciting indeed. We have our last little bit. It's just going to be a very quick one. Magenta, you put this on my radar.
Oh, yes.
I think it's worth mentioning. Just a little bit of anecdotal ammo for anyone who's needing some anecdotal ammo to for those people who are just like, doctors striking, they earn too much, blah, 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 blah. This is a story that came out a few days ago, 24th, 2 days ago. I could not find this. There was so much news. It just like I had to, it was fucking buried. So a psychiatrist says he will clock 56 hours this week despite striking for 2 days. That's pretty insane.
That's fucked.
That is very fucked. Wellington psychiatrist Jeremy McMinn had a rare 2 days off this week thanks to the 48-hour strike by the Association of Salaried Medical Specialists, but will still be clocking up 56 hours. When I get back on Thursday, that day will be 48 hours long, effectively. I'll be working for a 48-hour stretch covering 3 other missing doctors, he said, standing in the picket line outside the Wellington Electorate office of the Finance Minister Nicola Willis.
The office has been very popular recently.
It has been. I wonder why. Very interesting. Something about it, I don't know. It's just bringing people in. It's just dire. You can't run a service like that. For someone like me, it's either retire or move to Australia. It's just too wearying. Gastroenterologist Amanda Chen, who brought her toddler to the protest, said she and her colleagues were fighting for the future health system too. I think all of us feel morally conflicted coming to strike, but it's needed to make changes that will be better for all of our country in the long term. And this is really interesting. My partner and I were actually talking about this. I keep saying, because he's a teacher, so he's also currently negotiating with the gun. His union is negotiating with the government, and I keep saying, like, I really, really hope that all of the unions, all of the public servants who are currently striking, for basically the same reasons across education and the health sector, at least, is that they need more funding, more support in order to make a better system for us as the people who get this, the patients, the the kids. And I just really, really hope, my message to the unions, is that they don't give in. They don't give up. That they actually say, we need this. We're not going to say no to anything other than what we need. We need this for the future, because any less that they take off the table is just pushing the can down the road, where it's just eventually going to happen again, where we run out of doctors again. Things don't keep up with inflation, or things don't keep up with the system, and you just end up in this shitty position again. So I really, really hope that they don't give in, and they continue to fight, even though it is really, really hard. I can imagine really hard to be on that picket line knowing that you've got to go and do a 48-hour stint the next day because you've striked, but you have to strike. And I really hope that the public do not turn on them for it, and that they continue to see them fighting, and instead of turning against them being like, okay, hurry up and take the deal, instead they go, these guys are doing the right thing and we need to back them. That's my only concern, is if they keep this going for too long, that the general public will turn against the unions and the public servants, and not the government. As what we're seeing now is that they're backing, the general populace is backing the workers, and the unions, they're not happy with what the government are doing. But I could see that switching at some point, and that will put pressure on the unions, I think, to say yes. But I just keep fighting. It sucks.
Oh, absolutely.
But keep fighting.
And I mean, I'm sure they will, because I mean, we've already seen the teachers get recommended to not accept the last deal. So I mean, and at this point, like, it's dire at this point. I think everyone can feel that. So I'm hoping that the kind of, hopefully a silver lining of such a dire situation will be their ability to use that as fire to kind of keep those things up, because it's just disgusting how little money this government refuses to give to these areas when they've given so many billions to landlords and fucking all the other bullshit rich people they've helped. It's but hopefully we don't see that kind of degradation, as you say, happen.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right, Magenta, I think you've got the last of your memes.
Yes, I also had a couple of small
Oh, yes, you
things
did.
for
You did
us
say
to
that.
have a nosy at. Nothing too crazy. I will just actually share this. Nah, fuck it. I'll share them individually. First of all, I only just found out about this, but there is a disability strategy consultation that is going on right now, and submissions are only open until 5 p.m. this Sunday. Unfortunately, very last minute. But thankfully, Kahurangi has worked on a submission guide. And basically this outlines kind of what's happening, and you can kind of go in and either you can also get accessible forms of the strategy available as well. So just something that if you're interested in kind of submitting on this for the disability strategy, please do go and see. If you just type in disability strategy Greens, it comes up. It's pretty easy to find. But it would be really good to get people submitting on this, because we've already seen how this government has been treating the disabled population and whaikaha, so we gotta just keep going up against them. And actually, in other greenie news, because we all know I'm a Greens member, I'm biased, that's fine. They have this bomb Vote Keep Māori ward hoodies that were actually designed by someone I used to go to uni with, this guy right here, Te Hui Hui o Matariki Chi Hui Tran. He works for the Green Party, and he's made these beautiful designs to go on this kakahu, and it would look pretty sick, especially if, God forbid, people don't keep them, and you can be like, look, I was one of the good ones. And obviously I have mentioned it before, but it is Bird of the Year, and I am officially campaigning for the tara iti, also known as a fairy tern. It is New Zealand's most endangered bird.
Wow. It's also the cutest. That's a pretty cute bird.
I know, isn't it? And this is what they look like as babies. They're just little balls of fluffy sand. They're so tiny. But yes, there's currently only 40 individuals remaining, and only 10 are breeding females. So, as is kind of the way with Bird of the Year, I believe in advocating for the most endangered birds. So that is who I've put as my number one vote. If you want to see all of the ones we're voting for, I've been putting them in Discord just so we could have a bit of a fun seeing what people are vote for. But definitely go do Bird of the Year. It's something fun to kind of, I guess, distract us away from all the horrible bullshit. And just last time, just to remind people that tomorrow at 5:00, come to the Garden Hotel, which if you guys didn't realize, this is where the drag bingo happens. So it's a great place, lovely stuff, and we've got our own section at the back. So when you turn up to the Garden Hotel, just go towards the bar and keep going to the pink wall that says "Hello Gorgeous" in LED signs. Yeah, and then I'll get us into the memes.
The last of the memes.
All right. Oh, we already looked at that one. Oh yeah, we got a meme from one of our new guest co-hosts. Never thought I'd be hosting side by side with an elf. What about side by side with a friend? I could do that. And obviously, Elliot. No, is that it? No, God, I just
Brie Elliott.
Brie Elliott. Oh, that's where the Ellie was coming from. I was like, yes, Brie Elliott. It was cool. It was cool seeing the new people on though. I was really
yes.
Also, I don't know if you've ever Googled Pat, and I don't know if Pat knows this, but if you Google Pat Brittenden, this is the photo that comes up. And if he's near you, feel free to tell him.
Pat, did you know that when you Google your name, Rawadi comes up? Yes, he is aware.
Okay, Pat is aware. Good to know.
Yes. In the imagery.
In whatever it was, I didn't see.
Yeah, because that was from when Rawadi and Debbie came on.
Second favorite?
No, not doing anything. No. Carry on.
No? All right. Nicola Willis after cutting education. This is a terrifying picture, by the way. So terrifying.
Yeah.
Like,
weird.
The way that they've... This one was really good, though. I love this. It's Beastie Boys. And that is actually the line in the song. So, very, very well done. Reading long reports and articles. KiwiBurb reading them and giving us summaries in the Discord. So shout out to KiwiBurb for doing that. It's always awesome to see. So someone posted this picture of Judith and went, guys, this is easily memeable. Come on, let's do some stuff with it. So first we just had someone put up her I think, was that LinkedIn? I don't know. I don't go on LinkedIn. I did this one. You might not be able to read it very well, but it said, you and Seahawk have liked each other, and that's a picture of her model helicopter and a picture of Judy. We also have the Duolingo Talofa, which is so good. And then this. I decided this was the meme for this week because it's terrifying and it makes me so unsettled, but I love it.
She actually fits that really well. Yeah. Like it reminds me a lot of that movie.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And then some bonus memes. Maybe if millennials spent less on brunch and more on particle physics research, they could travel to 1974 and afford a house. Just a thought.
Just a thought. Could do it.
This too shall pass, but like, holy fuck. And I just thought
so
everyone
I feel
could
all
relate
the
to
time.
that. Right? I thought everyone would like be able to relate to this image. For the millennials and of us out there, Paprika is no longer the youngest child. Paprika's fully grown. And we got we got Cinnamon, ginger and sage, and I don't know how to feel about that.
I think I know of cinnamon, but the other two are new.
Yeah, cinnamon was like when my brother was little, but sage and ginger, crazy.
Keep spitting out babies. Weird.
Right. Did you see the new My Chemical Romance video?
I saw something. I assumed it was not.
They
new.
announced a Black Parade tour, not the Black Parade is Dead tour, but an actual Black Parade tour. So that's why all the millennials are just going, yes. Well, especially because this is like the perfect setting. They've really got that fascism weaving through this next current narrative. Like they have yay and nay signs, and they do like fake political like speeches and votings. It's great. I love it.
Cool.
Do these idiots really think the trans community is some powerful secret society or something? Oh, but we are. We're called the Uwuminati.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's and then the last one. Every generation gets a bespectacled sadist in a suit torturing his friends for ha-has. And
why is Bomber not there? He should be in the
I have to build it out. I guess I just more thinking in the fun sense, but yeah, that counts too. That counts
Bomber
too.
also could fit into that, yeah.
The
parallels here are so perfect. I
right?
love Dropout. So good.
I know. So good. If you guys haven't watched Dropout, try either go subscribe because it's actually not that expensive for the Dropout subscription, or there is some places you can find some of it on the 7 Seas. But I highly recommend Smarty Pants and Game Changers. 2 best fucking shows ever.
Yeah. Yes. Very worth it.
Also, apparently we need you in HD more often.
I was literally about to put it up, and no, you do not. This is not an ongoing thing. No one needs to see this. One day, maybe when I can upgrade my camera, but no.
Also, can we move Nikki Noboat's office to the Aratere? That was a great comment.
Ooh, good idea.
I just had to make sure someone saw that.
All right, last super chat, which is Mr. Arvid. Mark's Genta in Ems Gels. Who am I? Ems Gels?
Ingalls or something.
Ems Gels? Emgals probably would have been better. Just saying.
Yeah, do better.
I didn't know who you were talking about, but now that I do, you should have, do better.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
I think that's us for tonight. We did a really good job. It's not thank you, Ingalls. It's not a 2-hour show.
Right. To be fair, yeah, we managed to have some pretty tight deep dives.
I know, 2 deep dives, and we're still under
for the price of not even
1:40. I know, you guys are really lucky. I think we have an outro to play.
We do.
Fingers crossed, it works.
Hopefully.
The mouse is so hard to find. It works.
Help us settle it to be, whether it be thoughtful or funny, even if we're all creatures of hate. It's a fine line that we're walking together. For better, push aside the temptation to berate. Let's take a note of the corners we stand in. As many points as the hairs on my chinny chin chin. When the news that we're watching is hairy, knowing all the things that we need to be wary of. Like the rich have the hand out for rewards, while the many have to work out what they can't afford. And the rest of us ain't paying attention, or maybe have questions we're too worried to mention. Other media is still dwelling on trivial facts, vetting bees from the rice and the mice from the rats, and picking and choosing a warpath to run, and linking ourselves with the hill to die on. It's gotta come down to a welcoming vibe, with an A and a self and a higher in mind. All have a lean either this way or that, and will be analyzed by what Chewie and Pat. With the evil in the world trying to mess with your head, and you're sitting on the couch, you're thinking chivalry's dead. Each night, 2 nights, they're gonna sing you to bed. It's Big Hairy News.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this wonderful Friday evening with myself from Pat's studio and Magenta from their usual studio. I hope you had fun. Magenta, anything to say before we go?
Obviously, hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow at our meetup. Otherwise, we got some stuff going on at Aotearoa tonight on Monday, so feel free to come hang out with me and Detective Rogers. And other than that, touch grass and keep cool till after school.
Yeah. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. We will see you next Friday at 9 p.m. and Pat and Chewie will be back with you at 9 p.m. on Monday. No, we're not Chewie. Someone will be back with you on Monday. Let's hope. All right, catches. Have a wonderful weekend, Jenny.
Okay. Of course it